We live in a sex craved, and a sex driven world, which consists of sex, and more sex. Don't crash and don't burn. The first time anyone has sex, life gets spiritually, emotionally, physically hard, difficult, and troublesome. In each sexual experience, the individual is chasing a high and a thrill that is greater than their first sexual experience. And the end result of that is a sexual crash. What is given for marriage for pleasure, sharing one's soul, and expressing love, when many are sexual outside of marriage, they cannot be satisfied in marriage because they have so many familiar spirits and soul ties to another sexual partner. It's like a temporary high. It's not permanent, but it was designed by God for the husband and the wife. Don't crash. Don't burn. The way you don't crash in a sex-driven world is don't take the bait. Don't get involved sexually and prevent yourself from emotional, physical, and spiritual breakage and harm. And I want to tell you, you can make it, and you don't have to crash and burn. Just like an individual gets in a car, they have now entered into one of the most dangerous environments, and so it is with sex. There is no safe sex except sex shared in intimacy between husband and wife. I would have remained a virgin had someone educated me, poured into me, and told me everything that I needed to know about sex. The ratio of remaining a virgin to being sexually active would be very slim to none. I remember my father and my mother telling me, Derek, don't have sex. Wait until you're married. It will cause trouble and problems. However, there were no details given, no instructions to follow. They used all they had and knew to talk to me about sex. Parents, we cannot be afraid to talk to our children. We cannot be afraid to educate them. We cannot be afraid to tell them the truth, the facts, some of our own experiences, the goods, what seemed good, and the bad. It is very important that our sons and our daughters at a very early age are educated in the right way. Schools are supporting sexual activities. They're giving condoms and giving all the things that birth control and all these things to our children, and it is telling our children it's okay to have sex. Just put on a condom. Take birth control. But they don't tell them about the consequences that it can have on their emotion, on their spirit, even in their mind. And so as a parent, I speak to my daughters, I speak to my nieces and my nephews and all those that I can come in contact with. And I tell them, do not crash and do not burn. In a sex-craved, and sex-driven world, it is important. Someone say very important for parental guidance. Don't think that our children aren't watching us. We must not think that our children are not watching us, how we respond, or any such, because they are watching us. Whether they speak it or not, or whether they believe it or not, our children look to us for guidance in every way. Personally, I emotionally broke and lived moments of regret when concerning sex. I felt insecure because I shared myself with an illusion that left me no protection, just a life of infection, mentally, spiritually, and running into a clinic afraid if I had contracted a STD or STI. I had shared myself with a with an illusion. It's something that I thought should have been, was the real thing, but it left me broke. It left me drained. It left me depressed. It left me trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? What happened? All alone, a heart broken, trying to figure out, is this what sex is really about? Sex without true intimacy, true love between a husband and wife is just sex. I only had one sexual experience, but many sex partners. If I had experienced sex with two people, reality is I've had multiple partners. Don't crash. Don't take the bait. You have a life given by God with the responsibility to yourself. Don't think that I'll try it once and that's all. It won't hurt me this once. Everyone else is doing it. It appears to be right. I hear my friends talk about it in the bathroom, in the locker room, on the football field, on the basketball court, or wherever they may be, in the classroom, passing letters and notes. We live in a sexual-driven world, but I want to tell each and every teenage girl, teenage boy, young adult, young man or woman, that you can make it in this sexually driven, craved, and thriving world. Who makes sex all about the music. It's influenced through the drugs. It's influenced through the alcoholism, conversation, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the nose, every area that can enter into our mind. And eventually we are left with soul ties. We are left with permanent mental breakage because we had sex with an illusion. And I want to tell you that you can make it over and over and over again. You don't have to give in to the pressures of life, the pressures of the world. You don't have to give in to the sexual desires. You don't have to give in to those things that will cause you to feel insecure and mess up. You don't have to give in to that boy or that girl who is pressuring you for sex. You can make it. You can make it. Say it to yourself. You can make it. You are not a fabrication of everyone else. Everyone else may be doing it, but you are an original. You are a person who should stand out, who should take a stand, who should say, no, I have a future, I have a life, I have morals, and I have standards. And I refuse to give in to what the world is saying is right and to what the world is doing. My body is my body, and it was given to me by God. And because it was given to me by God, I'm going to give it to God so he can give me the right man or the right woman that he has purposed for me. Had I been educated on this, had I known full details growing up, I know for sure the ratio of me being sexually active versus not being sexually active would have been slim to none. Keep this in mind, that you can make it. There's nothing that you can do without God. But whatever you do, remember your surroundings. Remember the environment, the atmosphere, the air, the people you hang out with, those that you get in contact with have an influence and impact on your life. Do not let them impact you to the point that you give in to them. Remember this, do not crash, do not burn, you can make it.